Hello everyone and welcome to a new lecture for international reporting. We turn our attention to South America. There are, a variety of interesting aspects to South America. Even though it's nearby, we don't really spend too much time thinking about the ins and outs of South America. It's the fourth largest continent in the world. Most of the continent is in the tropics or below the equator. The coastline is along the Atlantic, Pacific, and Caribbean Sea. The physical features, there are the Andes Mountains, the plains, and the lowlands and plateaus of Brazil. The physical features, the Andes from Tierra del Fuego to Venezuela, 4,500 miles long. The inhabitants are mostly native, isolated villages. Here's a picture of the Andes in terms of its locale. The Pampas, or the plains, in south part of South America. It's from the Andes to the Atlantic Ocean, primarily in Argentina and Paraguay. It has rich sand, soil which covers the ground and is quite fertile, and it's among the best farmland in the world. The lowlands and plateaus of Brazil are the third feature. The Amazon River flows through this huge area of mostly flat land. There's a wide coastal plain to the Atlantic, and it's the site of colonial European sugar plantations along that route. The indigenous people in the pre-Columbian age, the continent was dominated by native people. The Inca Empire, which I'm sure you've heard of, the Andes region existed from 1438 to 1533. They were about 9 to 14 million people, and they were highly developed in terms of cities, road systems, and terraced farming. European colonization happened at roughly the same time as the colonization of North America. In 1494, Spain and Portugal agreed to divide the continent. By the mid-1500s, European colonies were established. Spanish and Portuguese settlers intermarried with natives, forming the mestizo class. By the mid-1800s, most of South America had won independence. Here are the languages. You can see Spanish all along here, Portuguese, English, French, and Dutch up here. There are other languages, English, Hindi, Dutch, French, German, Italian, and there are a number of native languages as well. So in terms of religion, it's dominated by Roman Catholicism. Okay. You see indigenous religions, the purple here, okay, and a variety of others throughout the region. There are some Protestants in French Guyana, and there are Christianity, Hindu, and Islam in Guyana and Suriname. The governments, South America was a battlefield during the Cold War. Today, many of the governments lean left. So just going through a few of them. Argentina, down in the south. It's the most southern country in the South America. It is, essentially a marine coast here. The language is Spanish. The religion is Roman Catholic. The economy has always been affected by government policies. Argentina joined a trade group that promotes trade and economic cooperation. They produce very good beef and grow wheat and corn. And it is one of the wealthier countries, although not wealthy by U.S. standards. Bolivia, the capital is La Paz. It's in the Andes. It's a tropical climate, the population about 9 million. Language essentially Spanish, the religion Roman Catholic. It is the poorest country in South America. One of the reasons is that it's landlocked, so that it has had difficulty with moving goods and services. Brazil is the largest economy in South America. It has an abundance of natural resources and good farmland. The Amazon River creates hydroelectricity. 1/5 of the workers work in agriculture, and it's second only to the United States in terms of agricultural exports. 1/2 of the workers work in service industries. Here's a view of hydroelectric power along the Amazon. In Chile, the capital is Santiago. It's essentially quite dry. It's desert on one side. The population is large. It's 16 million. The language is Spanish, primarily Roman Catholic. There were tensions between the United States and Chile in the 1970s, and the United States orchestrated a coup, and Chile was primarily ruled by a military government. It has a very thriving economy: agriculture, fishing, farming, mining, and international trade is a key to Chile's economy. Colombia, it relies on agricultural product. The number one export, besides cocaine for many years, and drugs, was coffee. Has cotton, sugar, livestock. But as I said, until the mid-2000s, 80% of the world's cocaine came from Colombia. Ecuador, the capital is Quito. It's along the Andes Mountains and the Mediterranean. It's about 13 million people. The language is Spanish, primarily Roman Catholic. French Guiana, its capital is Cayenne. It's essentially flat along the Atlantic Ocean. It's warm. Relatively small population of just over 200,000 people. There's no dominant religion. It heavily depends upon France and is mainly known for fishing. Suriname its capital is Paramaribo. It's along the Atlantic Ocean. It's warm. Again, a relatively small population of a little more than 400,000. The language is Dutch because the Netherlands were the ones to colonize it. There's no dominant religion, and its economy is primarily rice and sugarcane. Guyana, I unfortunately visited Guyana during the Jonestown incident in 1978, where many Americans died at Jonestown, Guyana. It's along the Atlantic Ocean, a population of less than 1 million. The language is English because it was under British control. No dominant religion, and its economy is based on rice and sugarcane. Paraguay is another country that's landlocked. Asuncion is the capital. 6 million people. Language is Spanish. The religion is Roman Catholic. Paraguay's wealth is dominated by a few rich countries and companies. It's also where a number of Nazis fled after World War II. Peru, the capital is Lima. It's along the Pacific Ocean, primarily Roman Catholic. There are mineral deposits, hydroelectric projects, and agriculture. Uruguay, the capital is Montevideo. It's essentially plains. It's subtropical, population of about 3 million. Spanish is the main language, Roman Catholic the religion. Beef is an important export, and agriculture and manufacturing are the basis of the economy. Venezuela, a lot of problems in Venezuela. Opposition between Venezuela and the United States. It's dependent upon oil production, but the socialist government there has essentially created an economy that isn't working at all, and the oil exports have been significantly down. It's a member of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. 10% of the workforce are farmers, and you can see the preponderance of the oil fields in the central part of the country, but right now Venezuela is incredibly poor shape. So that's a look at South America. Thanks very much, and we'll see you online. Bye now.